today's lesson will work on our intermediate course and unit 6, and here second part 6.2, controlling the weather. Our goals here are talk about the climate and extreme weather, talk about recent events, and vocabulary speaking. We'll learn new words about climate and extreme weather. Exercise 1A. Look at the photos and use the words in the box to describe what you can see. Pause the video and try to do this exercise. Try to describe videos in a written form. And now let's check the suggested answers. Picture 1, destroyed housing, landslide. Picture 2, crop damage, decrease in rainfall, drought, high temperatures, water shortages, heat wave. Picture 3, climate change, destroyed housing, increase in rainfall, strong winds, tropical storms. Exercise 1B. Do you think climate change and extreme weather events are caused by global warming? Pause the video and try to answer this question in a written form. And now let's check the possible answers. Yes, of course, global warming is the main cause of extreme events and climate change, because when global warming happens, when the sea temperature, the temperature of atmosphere rises by even 1 degree Celsius, it leads to global catastrophes like sea rise levels, the rise in sea levels, and creation of different unstable events, unstable occurrences, and this has major impact on the lives of people. Exercise 1C. Put the rest of the words into the correct column. And here, extreme weather events affect consequences of extreme events. Pause the video, try to do this exercise on your own. And now let's check the answers. Extreme weather events. It's increase in rainfall, drought, heat wave, high temperatures, strong winds, tropical storms. Effects, consequences of extreme weather events. It's crop damage, destroyed housing, fires, floods, landslides, and water shortages. Pronunciation, compound nouns. Now we learn how to pronounce, how to speak well when we are using compound nouns. Exercise 2A, look at the compound nouns in the box and divide them into 2 columns, according to which word carries the main stress, first and the second. Pause the video, do this exercise on your own. And now let's look at the answers. As you see, the words in which the first word is stressed, it's climate change, crop damage, water shortages. And the words with second word stress, it's global warming, strong winds, tropical storms. Exercise 2B, listen and check your answers one more time.
Audio 6.3.
Climate change. Crop damage. Water shortages.
Global warming. Strong winds. Tropical storms.
Exercise 2C, work with a partner. Think about what part of each word is, for example, noun or adjective, and work out a rule. And now let's look at the answer. The stress depends on what part of speech the first word is. If it's noun, if it's stress. If it's adjective, the second word is mostly stressed. Exercise 3. Work in small groups. Discuss the questions. Pause the video. Answer the questions in a written form. Now let's look at the possible answers. 1. Do you think the weather has been getting worse in recent years? Why not? Yes, not recent years. If we look at the historical time period, for the last 200 years, the weather has been getting worse, because we are, when we moved into industrialization area, and after this globalization and the rise of technologies are leading to the weather getting worse, more climatic events, the catastrophes happening, and this is mostly due to human action, and this should be somehow prevented and somehow controlled by technologies that are being made in the future, in the near future. 2, do you think anything can be done to control extreme weather? Yes. If yes, what? And as I said, well, it can be only done through technology, because with this current technology we cannot control it, and we already caused the problem, and it's only us who can solve this problem by our technologies that we're going to create in the future and control the weather and become a civilization that can type 1 civilization that can have a control over its own planet. Grammar and listening. Present perfect, simple, and continuous. Exercise 4a. Listen to the start of a radio interview. Why are scientists researching ways to control the weather? Pause the video, answer the questions in a written form.
Audio 6.4.
Welcome to the world today. Today we're talking about extreme weather. Recently, there seem to have been a lot of extreme weather events. While there have always been strong winds and tropical storms, many scientists now agree that climate change has been causing higher temperatures and more storms, floods, and droughts. It's a serious situation, and although governments have been trying to reduce pollution and stop the global temperature rising, we haven't been very successful so far. Could there be a different solution? With us in the studio today, we have Neil Clough, our science correspondent who has been researching ways in which scientists around the world have been trying to artificially control or change the weather. Neil, can anything be done to prevent these extreme weather events?
Well, if these changes in weather patterns have been happening as a result of global warming, then we should try to prevent further warming by reducing pollution, protecting trees, and so on. However, scientists have been exploring another method. It seems possible that we might be able to actually do more to control the weather directly.
And now let's look at the answer. There have been more extreme weather events such as storms, floods, and droughts due to global warming. Governments haven't so far been very successful in solving these problems. Exercise 4b. Listen to the rest of the interview and answer the questions. Pause the video and do it in a written form.
Audio 6.5.
Tell us more about controlling the weather.
Well, scientists have been working on techniques to create or prevent rain for quite some time now. The best-known method is called cloud seeding. This involves putting chemicals into the air to encourage any water in the air to form clouds and hopefully rain.
So, if we can make it rain when we want it to, why do we still have problems with droughts?
Well, unfortunately, it isn't quite as simple as that. If there is a drought, there probably won't be any clouds in the sky at all. The only thing you could do is to do cloud seeding when there are clouds, and then save the water for when there is a drought.
That could be helpful, I guess. And can it help with storms and hurricanes as well?
Yes, hurricanes form in warm, tropical waters. That's why global warming is having an impact. As the seas get warmer, there are likely to be more hurricanes. But it seems possible that we could use cloud seeding to cool the seas down.
That sounds incredible. But is it actually a good idea to try and change the weather? I mean, what about putting chemicals into the atmosphere? That can't be a good idea, can it?
Well, this is one of the things we need to find out. There is some concern that creating rain in one area of the world might take it away from somewhere else. But in terms of the chemicals, it seems that one group of scientists have found a solution. Professor Jean-Pierre Wolf and Dr. Jerome Kasparian at the University of Geneva have been experimenting with using lasers to control the weather.
Lasers?
Their experiments have shown that pulses of light from a laser can be used to make rain clouds without using any chemicals. They also think that lasers can be used to direct storms away from certain buildings, such as airports.
Wow, that is quite amazing. I still feel that perhaps we shouldn't be playing with the weather like this.
Yes, a lot of people would agree with you. But you've got to remember that we have been changing the weather for a long time anyway, through global warming. This type of technology is nothing compared with that, and it could be helpful rather than harmful.
And now let's check the answers together. 1. What is cloud seeding? Well, cloud seeding is putting chemicals into the air to encourage water to form clouds. 2. Why doesn't cloud seeding work well in drought areas? In drought areas, there are very few clouds. 3. How can cloud seeding help prevent hurricanes? Cloud seeding can help cool the sea down, which in turn would help prevent hurricanes as they form in warm water. And 4. Why do people worry about using cloud seeding? Some people think that creating rain in one area might take it away from somewhere else. 5. What solution have scientists in Geneva found? They use lasers to direct storms away from certain buildings and light from lasers to make rain clouds. Exercise 5. Look at these extracts from the interview and answer the questions. And here extracts are: it seems that one group of scientists has found a solution. B. Professor Jean-Pierre Wolf and Dr. Jerome Kasparian have been experimenting with using lasers to control the weather. And questions are: 1. Which action began in the past and still continuing? And 2. Which action was completed at some point before now? And the answers are, as you see, the first one is B, because it's have been experimenting, still continuing, and second one is A, has found a solution, is at some point before now, it's completed already. Exercise 6A. Add the 2 examples in exercise 5 to correct place in the grammar focus box. Grammar focus, present perfect simple and continuous. We use the present perfect simple for completed actions which happened at some point before now and still have an influence on the present. For example, here subject plus have has plus participle. So we use present perfect simple for completed action, and the example is has found a solution. And we use the present perfect continuous for unfinished actions which started in the past and continue up to now. It often answers the question how long, and here the formula is subject plus have has been plus present participle. It means verb third form. And here the example is have been experimenting. We don't generally use present perfect continuous with state verbs such as be, have, and know. Exercise 6B. Complete the sentences with the correct form of the verbs in brackets. Pause the video and try to do this exercise on your own. And now, if you have finished doing this exercise, let's check the answers together. 1. It now seems clear that temperatures have been rising over the past decades and the trend looks like to continue. 2. Clearly, if changes in weather patterns have happened as a result, we should be trying to prevent further warming. 3. Many scientists have been studying the effects of global warming on the weather patterns and have published the results of this research. Exercise 7A. Complete the summary of the listening with the correct form of the verbs in brackets. Pause the video and do this exercise on your own and fill the gaps that are given here. If you have finished, let's check the answers together. In recent years, there has been a noticeable increase in extreme weather events. Many scientists now agree that climate change has caused this increase. And the science correspondent in the program has just finished researching ways in which scientists around the world have been trying to artificially control or change weather patterns. The scientists have been exploring various techniques, including cloud seeding, over the past few years. However, many people are worried about putting chemicals into the atmosphere. Recently, one team of scientists in Geneva has discovered a way to use lasers to control the weather. Exercise 7B. Listen and check your answers one more time.
Audio 6.6.
In recent years, there has been a noticeable increase in extreme weather events. Many scientists now agree that climate change has caused this increase. The science correspondent in the program has just finished researching ways in which scientists around the world have been trying to artificially control or change weather patterns. These scientists have been exploring various techniques,
including cloud seeding, over the past few years. However, many people are worried about putting chemicals into the atmosphere. Recently, one team of scientists in Geneva has discovered a way to use lasers to control the weather.
Exercise 8. Read a news item and discuss with a partner what kind of solutions might be possible. Pause the video and try to give potential solutions on your own in a written form. And now, if you have finished, let's look at the possible answers. Suggested answers are protecting crops from extreme temperatures, saving and storing water during the rainy seasons to use during dry season, and etc. Exercise 9. Task. Work with the same partner. Read about 2 different rice farmers from Thailand. Student A, turn to page 128. Student B, turn to page 133. That's the end of our today's lesson. See you in the next lesson.